in the shower, struggling a little bit today to get this set up. Hold on. There we go. There we go. So we're struggling today a little bit. Just a teensy minty bit. Okay. Let's see. Alright. I don't know why this has been stuck in my head, but it has. It's been stuck in my noggin. But I'm gonna get started. Hello everybody that's joining in today. I'm gonna be talking about how just overall plant-based transformation, but I'm one to be diving into like in the beginning about how it has completely transformed my life and how it can transform yours too. And if you are on a health journey, or if you are seeking a health journey, or you don't even know where to start, but you know that you need to change your habits and you need to change your lifestyle, you need to change your ways, I can support you, obviously, and this live is going to support you, and it's going to help you understand how transformation can happen for you, because it's really, really easy. It's just a matter of the fact of getting over the hump of the thought of doing it. And so if you are new here, hi, my name is Kendra. I am a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I'm here to support you in understanding what is going on with our food industry and what the products that we use and how toxic the chemicals and additives and all these different things that go into the process of what they make and sell to us is harming us. And so as I came to the realization of me realizing, one, that they are poisoning us with the foods that we're eating, and two, the products that we're using, and three, not really knowing how to truly take care of my body from the time that I was born all the way into my 20s. And then I realized it's the food. It's the products that I'm using. It's these toxic additives and killers the fillers that are making me sick, that are making me ill, that are making me inflamed, that are keeping me in a constant state of panic and fight or flight mode. And so once I got out of the space of eating these things that weren't supporting me, like ramen and eating Doritos and sitting here eating a bunch of junk all the time, because that's all I was doing was eating junk, I started to see the change in my life. I started to see how I was healing. I started to see overall the transformation when it came to my weight, when it came to my inflammation, when it came to just my mental health in general, because all of those things that are stemming in your body, that are causing issues, that are causing issues like diseases and illnesses, they're all stemming from one thing, which is inflammation. They're all stemming from you being built up with toxins, so much so that your body said, I don't know what else to do. I can't do anything else. I'm in fight or flight mode. I've been this way for all my life. And so since it says that it's been in fight or flight mode, and it knows that because of your past history, what does it do? It stores those toxins and holds on to them because it doesn't know what to do with them. It can't expel them with the lifestyle that you have because you're not releasing and resetting on a normal basis. And so since you're not releasing and resetting and supporting your body in doing that, it holds on to these toxins, and these toxins are leading you to inflammation. That is how you sit there and you develop high blood pressure. That's how you develop diseases like cancer. That's how you develop issues like diabetes, because cancer feeds off of toxins. Diabetes is built up of toxins which come from the sugar that you eat, because you're not eating natural sugar, because your body knows the difference between natural sugar and processed sugar, and it processes the processed sugar the way that you would natural sugar when you constantly consume processed sugar and your body is not regulated correctly. But when you are consuming regular natural sugar from fruits, from vegetables, well, I don't think any vegetable has any sugars, but natural fruits from fruits, that's when you'll start to understand, your body will start to see that there are natural sugars that you should be eating, and you are going to start feeding your body natural sugars, so then it knows how to process them correctly. Because when you are eating processed sugars on a regular, normal basis, your body is constantly in the state of knowing that you're going to be putting yourself in inflammation. It's going to know that you're sitting there putting toxins inside of you constantly, so it's not going to really be sitting there trying to fight it. But when you are normally on a regular basis, sitting there and you are eating regular, normal, natural sugars and fruits, and you're sitting there flushing your system with fruits and vegetables, and you're understanding that no diet culture, no tincture, no supplements, no dietary supplements in general are going to support you, then your body will understand, and it knows how to regulate itself because it is in a balanced state. And so when you sit there and maybe you slip up and you're like, okay, I want a snack, I want to eat some cake or something, I want to eat a cookie, your body's going to be like, oh, that's not the normal natural sugar that we get. Hold on, let me show her a sign that I'm inflamed. Let me give her a little bit of acne. Let me give her a little bit of, inflammation when it comes to like bloating. Maybe you're have a little mental fog or fatigue. And I'm not speaking just because I want to speak or that I don't know what I'm talking about, because literally I'm an example currently right now. I had my birthday last week, and so I had a birthday cake. I don't normally eat sweets. I was off of sweets for the whole month of June. And like when I do eat sweets, it's very occasionally. I had a whole cake for my birthday. Only a couple of people were to celebrate with me during my birthday. Nobody in my life eats plant-based, so I had the cake left over. So here I am eating the cake, and I haven't eaten it. I said I'm only going to eat it on the weekends so that I can limit myself in moderation. But look, from me eating that cake last weekend, this is what I got. I got a pimple. And so it's like my body is not used to this non-natural sugar, because I know they use processed sugar in the process of making my cake, but it's still vegan, but they use processed sugar, and I don't eat that on a regular basis. I usually eat regular natural sugar, normal sugar. But our bodies are so thrown off as a society when you look at us and you look at how people are. And yes, they may have clear, glowing skin, but their body is so used to them poisoning themselves with the sugar that it doesn't even show up on the normal, regular surface level anymore. Now it's deeper. Now they're sitting there developing IBS symptoms. Now they're sitting there with mental fog and all types of anxiety and depression. They're sitting there having panic attacks. Maybe you have some type of schizophrenia in your family, and so that's starting to get triggered. Like, you have to understand that when you have illnesses and diseases, it's coming from the habits that you have, and those habits have led you here. There is no it's running in my family. There is no it comes from this. Because from living a plant-based lifestyle, I have seen the healing. I have witnessed the healing in myself and others, because that's what got me on this train. When I started to see the healing within myself, no longer having knee pain, no longer sitting there suffering from anxiety and going through many panic attacks in 1 week, sitting there in and out of depression episodes. All of these things started to change in my life because I changed my lifestyle to plant-based, because I realized how to use food as my medicine, because I understood that these programming that they have over everybody, and they're sitting there telling you you need to eat pork early in the AM and break your fast at 8 a.m. You need to sit there and drink coffee as soon as you wake up, but it's throwing off your gut biome. Like, nobody is truly really connecting the dots about the fact that they are poisoning you in every way, shape, or form. Because how they train you to consume or to use or whatever else is literally poisoning you, and I can guarantee it. Because you look on TV, you see a commercial. They sit there and they program you with the commercial because you love that commercial's jingle, song, or whatever else for the company. But you don't realize the fact that they are also training you and programming you to realize that every single time that you sit there and you look at McDonald's and you see their Sprite, the Sprite commercial goes in your head of the cracking it open and going, ah, and you're sitting there like, ooh, I gotta get me a McDonald's Sprite because it gets you salivating. But you don't realize the fact that you have been programmed to do that. You don't put two and two together, that you have now been programmed to every single time you see a McDonald's Sprite that you start salivating like a dog. What was it, Pavlov's Law? I think that's what it was, when they did that study centuries ago, and they're still talking about to this day, how he trained dogs every single time they hear a bell ring, they salivate because they know dinner's about to come. That's the same thing you do when you hear that crack open, sound. You know it's for Sprite. You know it's for some kind of soda. And now you're sitting here craving a McDonald's Sprite. Every single time you hear ba-da-ba-ba-ba, what is that? You know exactly who it is. And so the point is the fact that, like, you don't even know the science behind of how much programming they put you under, because literally there is no reason for everybody to know these dang jingles and to start salivating and craving their food. There is a reason. The same way how when you know that you get your Chips Ahoy, you get your Oreos, you get all of your favorite snacks, and you sit there and you were like, how in the world did I eat that whole bag of chips in one setting? It's because they have literally sat there and done, this little piece of hair is bothering me. They have sat there and they have done research. They have done research into how to program you to crave these foods more and more. They have done research into how do I rewire their chemical balance so that they now sit here, instead of craving fruits when they're wanting sweets and craving vegetables when they want something to chew on and something crunchy. Now they're craving chips. Now they're craving crunchy cookies. Now they're sitting there craving ramen because it's so heavily loaded with sodium. Because that's all they do, is they combine additives and fillers as well as a combination of sugar, fats, and sodium that literally rewires your chemical balance. I was about to say something else, but that was the wrong thing. Your chemical balance. because it literally rewires your brain, and your brain no longer craves what it's naturally supposed to crave, what naturally comes from the earth. But instead, now you crave all the crap in the grocery store that they feed you and has all the cute labeling on it, the Lucky Charms, the ramen, all of the stuff that has all the bright pretty colors that attracts children to it. You don't realize that they're also marketing to you too. But it's because they've been throwing off your chemical balance all of your life that you don't even have a discerning thought about the foods that you're consuming. You don't even have a discerning thought about the fact that they could possibly be poisoning you. Instead, you want to argue when somebody is telling you that you shouldn't be eating meat or dairy because you have to have meat for protein. You have to have dairy for strong bones. It gives you calcium. But in reality, milk depletes your bones. It depletes your bones to the point where you literally, more women that have dairy in their lifestyle, that eat and consume dairy on a regular basis, are more prone to hip problems when they get older. And by the time that they're in their later years or their 70s, on up, they're more likely to have hip replacements. How is your bone strong? If you've been drinking the milk all of your life, if you're more prone to hip problems and hip replacements, it makes no sense. And they've even come out and told you that they have been lying to you. They lied to you since they came out with the Got Milk campaign. They lied to you when they started coming out with the campaigns for all the, I don't know exactly what generation. I think it was in the 60s. But I think it was in the 60s. If not, it might have been earlier, maybe in the 50s, in the 40s. But either which way, they came out and told y'all, like, they were doing marketing for the dairy industry because they had incentives when they went to World War, I think, I. They were telling all these dairy farmers, produce more. We need to make powdered milk because our war heroes need to have things to eat and blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, the war ends, and now they have all of this milk and nothing to do with it. They have all of these dairy products and nothing to do with it. So what do? How are we going to make that money back that we've gave all the incentives to these dairy farmers, and they're mad because now they have no profit? Oh, I know. Let's start marketing to the consumer. I know. Let's start marketing as something for strong bones, for you to give your kids, for you to be able to be healthy, and all this other stuff that they tried to market in front of your face. And then here we are, generations later, and now they're telling you, yes, they lied to you. Yes, they paid those doctors to tell you that it gives you strong bones, and they paid those doctors to promote it to you. And yes, they're continuously still lying to you. Yes, they program your kids to think that they have to have milk 2 to 3 times a day. And they've lied to you all of your life, but they keep on pushing it. They keep on promoting it. Because why would you tell somebody that you know that you lied to them and that there is no backing to the information that they give you, but also make the kids that have to be in the system, that have to eat these government meals, that have to go to public school, have to consume dairy for a drink on the side? It has to be an option. Why? And I used to work at a daycare, so I know that certain places don't give you another option unless you literally have I had one child specifically who refused to drink milk. Refused. Like, her parents were even like, yeah, she will not drink milk at home. You can give her milk, but she probably won't drink it. She literally would sit there the entire meal and would not drink anything because she would not drink milk. We started giving her water, and that was not because they told us we had to give her water. We did that by choice because we were like, you should not be sitting here not drinking anything the whole day until you finally get water for your afternoon snack. But in reality, if you don't have anybody like me and my co-teacher, or any kind person in your child's life, or in your life, which nobody in here is in school, so in your child's life, if you have children, there's nobody that's going to be out there to tell your child, like, hey, you want some water instead of this dairy? Because you don't need the dairy. And yes, that child might have not known necessarily what they were doing and why they weren't consuming the milk, but I'm happy that she wasn't, because it made me realize the fact that it's like some senses are really they're very prominent in others, because I've seen a lot of kids who got sick and then they could no longer consume milk. There was one child who literally was out for 3 months, in and out, because he kept trying to come back when he was sick and kept coming back and eating something with dairy in it and getting sick all over again. You have to understand that these programming that they put us in is not teaching us how to help our body heal, and it's not teaching us how to be healthy. And so when you sit there and you observe what is going on in this world, you'll see that very quickly, because they tell you to eat meat and they tell you to consume dairy, but our society is sicker than ever. And what are we doing? Exactly what they tell us to do. They're sicker than ever. But however, we just came out with the MyPlate in what, 2014, 2015, something like that. The MyPlate just came out, and that was supposed to be a healthy alternative to better up the food pyramid, right? But on that MyPlate, it tells you get a whole bunch of meat, a little side of fruit, a little side of vegetables, and then drink your 2 glasses of milk every single day. It's mind-blowing. It really is, because there's no actual scientific backing about these products that they're pushing to you, these foods that they're pushing to you. All they do is pay these doctors to tell you that it's okay, and then put that little label on it to say it's doctor approved, it's medical approved, or whatever else. Because there's so many different loopholes in our government system. They don't have to actually be approved. They don't have to actually do any studies. They don't have to actually get a real doctor backing. They can just pay somebody to say, yes, you can use my name. So when you realize the fact that they're not teaching you how to heal your body and use food as medicine, you'll start to realize the fact that you don't know how to take care of your body and actually use food as medicine. Like, when you sit there and you really think, how do you use food as medicine? Do you really know how to use it? Like, I want to be 100% honest. Dude, like, if you were in here right now, I would love for you to drop in the chat. Do you know how to use food as medicine? Hi. Do you know how to use your food as medicine? Because I didn't. And I'm going to say that, like, wholeheartedly. You can tap the screen. To everybody that does not know how to use food as medicine, tap the screen. Because I can guarantee, like, I didn't know. I didn't know how to take care of my body. I didn't know how to use food as medicine. I didn't know how in the world to stop having asthma, stop having all these anxiety attacks, having all these panic attacks, sitting here struggling every single day, going through weight fluctuation. Literally, I developed asthma in high school, and nobody in my family has asthma. Yes, using natural remedies is good, but when you're using natural remedies and you're still doing all of the crap that makes you toxic on the inside, that makes you sick and inflamed, there's really no natural remedy that's going to get you healing. You're managing. And that's what I talk about a lot, and I've talked about it in my past videos that you can go check out on YouTube, how they teach us how to manage diseases in our body and not heal them. Because we can manage and maintain, but that's keeping it alive. That's not actually helping. That's just managing. It's not healing you. And your body's a healing vessel, so it should be healing. You say you're talking about kids in school. So school lunches. Yes, and you don't even have to be rich. There are plenty of different programs for you to go into that not necessarily under the whole schooling system. For instance, like, even if you, because I know there's a lot of single moms out there and everything else, there are homeschooling programs. Like, there are different in their homeschooling programs that are actually tailored to people who are outside of what they teach in school of the programming. Like, there are plenty of people, especially now, there are plenty of people waking up and getting into that because of how detrimental it is when it comes to our system, and how they know that they're not bettering anything. Because, and this is off topic, but I want to get into it because it does tie it all together. How they just now wanted to start talking about the fact that, oh, okay, so I was like, I know there's a lot of single moms out there, but there's a lot of different programs that you can get into. But they were talking about how the fact that our reading levels for our this next generation that's coming up, how terrible they are, and how we're in a reading crisis. But weren't they the same people that were talking about how they were going to burn all the books and they were done with books and we were going to start going everything digital? Weren't they the ones that were telling us that it wasn't really that important that our reading scores were low? Weren't they the ones that weren't paying any attention to the reading scores for what generations? Weren't they the ones that stopped teaching phonics in school and told our parents that that's what they needed to do while we were at home, but however they knew that our parents worked all day long? Weren't they the ones that sat there and stopped catering to us and teaching us how to actually learn how to read and comprehend, rather than just reading and punishing us for not knowing how to meet the quota of what they needed and what they wanted every single year? Thanks for the follow. Because that's exactly what they did. When you standardize tests and you don't meet the quota, what do? They put you in the dumb class. They put you in the lower class. When you don't meet the quota of the numbers that they need and what they want, what do? They move you to a class that just passes. And if you were in my state, like I am, we have no child left behind. So you don't, there is no failing. You literally get passed all the way through until you graduate. There is no failing. And so when you sit there and you really listen to them talk and they tell you how we're going through a reading crisis, it's like, Why? Why are we going through a reading crisis? If you're the one that's telling me that I have to put my child in the school, it's mandated. Because if I don't put them in the school, then I'm going to get in trouble. You have to put them in school. But however, the school's not teaching them what they need to be learning. You have to put them in school, but your child is not being supported enough to not be poisoned when they go to school, at least. They have to go to school, but they have to also sit there and fear for their life every single day, because they're not putting armored doors on the freaking schools. They're not putting armed bars on the freaking windows. They're not actually bordering down a school. They're not actually putting, I'm not saying we need police or anything, but they're not putting any type of security that can actually help these kids if something really does go down inside the school. Because they don't care. They don't care. And so, like, you have to go beyond what they tell you. They don't care. And their actions tell you, because at the end of the day, and we all should know this as adults, as grown people, and if you don't, here is your wake-up call right here. If anybody in your life, whether they are somebody that is close to you or whether they are somebody that is an acquaintance, if they cannot back their words up with actions, they do not have your best interest at heart. If you were sitting here thinking that they can tell you all day long that this is healthy, this is what it's going to help support you, and they care about you, and their mission is for your health, but then they sit there and in the same sentence tell you that you can go and you can consume titanium dioxide and citric acid, their actions just told you right there. The action just told you, because they passed all these laws that tell you, yeah, we can use citric acid in food, and not tell them that citric acid is not derived from real citrus. Majority of these companies no longer use it. If they have a big $1 billion company, they're not using real citric acid. And you know what their citric acid is derived from? Black mold. And you know what they use that in? All processed foods. Any processed food that can stay on the shelf for months on end, or in your counter or in your cabinet for months on end, and it has citric acid in it, it's made from black mold. And it's not derived from a natural source, because majority of these companies do not use natural sources of citric acid anymore. I've only talked to one company that uses the natural citric acid, because I emailed them to ask, because I love their company and I love their products. And they were like, yes, we derive our citric acid from cane sugar. And I think beet sugar was the other one. That's natural. But these companies have found a loophole, I think in the early 90s or 80s, that they literally started using citric acid derived from black mold, which is extracted in a lab, because all they do is curate and grow the black mold and then just scrape off whatever they need that does not make you immediately sick, but it keeps the food preserved. But when you think about mold exposure, when you think about how you're exposed to mold and what it does to you and how it can make you sick, think about the fact that you were eating mold for years on end. Just think about that. Think about if you've been eating processed foods with citric acid in it since the time that you could start eating snacks, and you've been eating snacks all of your life. Think of how much black mold you have consumed. Think of how much mold is sitting there thriving inside of you, especially if you eat meat and dairy. Because when you are consuming meat, especially, and I talked about this with my mom yesterday, because we were talking about smells, and I was like, well, if you're smelling outside of your natural odor, I mean, not natural body odor, but you actually have a smell, it's because you have to think about the fact that you're consuming dead animals. And when you sit there and you think about the fact that you're consuming dead animals, and dead animals rot. Yes, fruit rots and it decomposes, but you know how bodies decay. You know how animals decay. They rot, slow rotting process. Fruit goes bad fast. It decays fast. It goes away fast. But when you're sitting there eating meat and you never cleanse, you eat meat every single day. If you eat meat multiple times a day, think about how much rotting flesh is inside of you. Think about how much you are not releasing enough. And then think about the fact that since you were sitting there consistently and constantly eating this rotten flesh, what is thriving inside of you? The black mold is thriving. The parasites are thriving. Everything that is toxic to your body is thriving in that environment because it's so inflammatory. Your blood type. I don't promote it. For anybody that's asking, for anybody that wants to know, because I do post all of my lives on YouTube. She asked, what do you think about eating for your blood type? I don't promote it. I just don't see a point, because at the end of the day, yes, I understand that blood type is important when it comes to like blood infusions and all the different things. But far as food, if you were eating the way that you were designed to, which we're all designed the same, Every person functions the same. There's not one person that functions differently inside than I do. Besides, obviously, if you have a disease or an illness, then your functions systems are off. It's not you're functioning differently. Your systems are off. So there's no reason for us to have to actually eat for our blood type. Because if you think that you have to eat for your blood type, more likely than not, I'm not saying that you do, or I'm not saying anything is you, but more likely than not, because everybody that I've talked to that talks about eating for their blood type eats meat and dairy. And so they sit there and say that they can't focus on eating a plant-based lifestyle because fruits and vegetables aren't going to give them everything they need for their blood type. But I'm like, how? That doesn't make any sense. Because when fruits and vegetables were made and designed here, we weren't eating animals. When fruits and vegetables were put on this earth, we weren't eating animals. So at what point did fruits and vegetables stop giving us every single nutrient that we needed? And there's plenty of science to back up the fact that like fruits and vegetables give you everything that you need. If you're eating it correctly and you're not sitting there pairing it with a bunch of toxins, it gives you every single nutrient that you need if you're eating a rainbow plate. It gives you every single thing that you need to be able to be healing and consistently and constantly healing. And if you are suffering from any diseases or illnesses or anything going on inside of your body that you know is not natural, or you know that should be gone by now if you've been dealing with it for so long, then you have to realize that there's an imbalance and there's a way for you to heal, because there's plenty of evidence that shows out there healing, but these doctors cannot promote it and they cannot tell you. I don't know what that was. I think that was Facebook or something. But they cannot promote or tell you that healing is possible for you because they don't know healing. They are not taught in Western medicine how to heal. But holistic medicine can I've seen so many different stories to tell you, I healed, I've done this, and my life changed. I have never seen anybody that says they went plant-based and all of a sudden they were like, that didn't work for me. I didn't heal, unless they weren't doing it correctly. Okay, well, if you were lost, I can support you definitely, because like I said, it's so much information out there that you can get lost. And that's why I'm here to help people, because I started the lifestyle on my own. I started being plant-based on my own. I started the journey on my own. I had no clue about being plant-based. At first I called myself vegan, and I was using vegan products. I was eating vegan foods from the processed foods and was not seeing any results. I didn't go raw vegan. I didn't go raw plant-based. I'm not raw now. I do eat raw foods. I could do my cleanses on a regular basis, but I didn't make myself suffer through the process of changing, because I knew if I went completely raw, I was not going to stick with that. I like food. I like to cook. I like to eat. And so I knew I wasn't going to stick with that. But cleansing on a regular basis every single month, yeah, I can do that. No problem. That's not an issue. Knowing how to support my body when it's time, yes, I do that. But when I want to eat, I'm going to eat. When I want to support my body, which is every single day, I'm going to make sure that I'm giving myself a rainbow plate. I'm going to make sure that I'm not poisoning myself with the foods that I'm eating. But I had to understand it and get away from the fact that, like, thinking if I'm following the crowd, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because really, in reality, because a lot of people have gotten tripped up on, like, doing the whole eating for your blood type and doing the whole vegan thing and doing raw vegan especially trips them up and makes you not want to do it, not want to complete it, because you're making it more harder than it has to be, because that's what they're telling you to do, because they have to steer you off the path if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have the right questions to ask. Because I didn't have the right questions. I didn't know where I was going. I thought this was going to be just something for me to do for like a year, try it out, see what's going on. And then once I started to see within after I got away from calling myself vegan, after the 3 months, and I actually started to go plant-based, I saw how my life changed. I saw how my weight stopped fluctuating. I saw how my mental clarity, oh my goodness, was so stable. And like from there, so many different benefits. I no longer have an inhaler. I don't have asthma anymore. FYI, for the people that were in here that I was talking about, that I had asthma at one point. I don't have asthma anymore. I was suffering from knee pain in 5th grade. I have no knee pain anymore. I have no issues. I literally could not get down below, what was it? I couldn't get down below 190. I was as high as like 220s, and that was my weight most of my life. Like, I was in 5th grade 150 pounds. Like, my sister literally was like, goodness gracious, and I was a child, so I was like, oh, That's heavy. Like, I didn't know. And so as now here I am down to 160, and I'm 26 years old, and like my goal for myself is to lose about 10 more, but like I'm not in a rush. Like, I'm perfectly fine with the way that I am now, and I'm healthy. Thank you for the follow. And like, if you want proof, if you need more you need more persuasion, literally go look at the pinned video that I have on my page. The pinned video on my page literally shows what I looked like before and what I look like now. You can see in front of you how much I slimmed down. And I could never do that in the lifestyle that I was living before. And that's because like I truly did not understand how I was poisoning myself until I started doing research in 2020 while we were locked down. And so once I started doing that, I got into the space. I wasn't plant-based then, but I got into the space of starting to release all the crap that I was eating, and starting to realize that like ramen, hot chips at 8 o'clock in the morning, like me sitting here eating all this crap is keeping me ill. It's keeping me sick. So I cleanse. I do have a cleansing and detoxing bundle that's linked in my bio, that shows you exactly what I do, how I do it, and to walk you through it with templates and everything else, so that you don't feel like you have to struggle through a cleanse. But I literally cleanse with fruits and vegetables. Like, I intermittent fast every single day. Like, I have not eaten today, and I didn't even realize it. It is 4, about to be 5 o'clock. I intermittent fast every single day. At first, it started in 2020 with me intermittent fasting, but I didn't do it as long as I do now, because at first intermittent fasting for me started at like, I would fast until about 12:30, 1 o'clock at the latest, and then I would go get me something to eat. Now I kind of honestly, until it's around like this time, I forget. I forget that I'm like, it's normal. It's a routine for me now. Like, it's very rare that I actually get hungry before 12 o'clock. And it's not me starving myself. It's literally, I don't get hungry. I drink my water. If I do get hungry before then, I eat some fruits. And then I see what my body does, because majority of the time my body's like, okay, that was good. And I can go hours with no issue. But beforehand, especially when I first was getting into the lifestyle, when I was first getting into the lifestyle now, I was hungry all the time. Because it's like, I was getting away from dairy and meat and everything else, and I was focusing on eating real whole foods, and my body was not used to that. My body was trained to eat crap all the time. So my body was like, we don't normally eat fruits and vegetables all the time. Like, this is good, it tastes good, because I was craving it. But it didn't taste good. Like, it tastes good, but it wasn't giving me what meat did and what dairy did. You know, that honestly overfilling feeling overfilling feeling. I feel like that sounded weird, and that's what I got. And so once I started to switch, it really totally just rewired my brain to where it was supposed to be and how it was supposed to be. I no longer sit there and struggle with overconsumption. I no longer sit here and struggle with being bloated and fatigued all the time, because I was all the time like that, like every single day. I only get bloated now around my cycle, and that's it. And it's usually when I eat sugar. And I try to do my cleanses and stuff around that time so that I don't eat sugar. And it's all about the fact that like I learned multiple strategies that I support you with. If you do come work with me, I have one-on-ones that you can book with me, or I do have a 12-week program that you can work with me as well, or you can do the 6-week, either which one, because they both will support you. But the 12-week is more extensive, and the other one is accelerated. The 6-week is accelerated. And so I want you to understand that like balance is what you need. It's not these diets, it's not these dietary supplements, it's not these medications, it's not a surgery, it's not anything else if you are not using food as your medicine and focusing on balance. Because when I focused on how to balance my lifestyle and have a balanced lifestyle really outside of diet culture, because I stopped doing diet culture, I stopped calorie counting, I stopped doing all that crap that was not supporting me, I realized that like, one, my mood stabilized, my energy was up through the roof, and then also like the hormone balance and the reduced inflammation helped my menstrual cycle. It helped my mental clarity. It helped my knee pain, my asthma I no longer have anymore. And so once I started to realize like, wow, this isn't as hard as it really like seemed to be before I started. Here I am, almost 4 years in. Like, I'm almost 4 years in. It's about to be 4 years in a couple of months. And so it's truly amazing, the transformation that I have received. Like, I literally, the Most High has blessed me. He has blessed me so much to realize this at the age that I am. I literally am running now. I never liked running. I never was running by choice. I played sports. I keep saying literally. I played sports in middle school and high school. Was playing 2 to 3 sports at a time, like 2 to 3 sports a year, playing 2 sports at a time sometimes. And I did not like running then, did not enjoy it. My knees were killing me when I was running. I had to wear 2 knee braces, one on each knee. Now here I am at 26. I just turned 26 last week. I've been running for months. Like, I think I've been running since what? We went out of town last year, May. I've been running, I think, since we got it back into town. I think I've been running since the beginning of this year. Maybe even a little bit before that. I haven't put a timeline to like actually map it out, but I've been running, and like I literally can sprint now. I couldn't sprint without a knee brace before, without my knee feeling like it wanted to pop out. I was told that I was going to have a knee surgery by 22. Have not had a knee surgery. I'm running and sprinting now. My knee, I have no knee brace. I don't even know where the knee braces are. I think I threw them in the trash. I was wearing a copper tone brace on one leg. I was wearing a knee brace on another, a knee brace on top of the copper tone brace. If you don't, that's what I said. If you don't hear me, if you don't hear me speaking, what I'm spitting, then ain't nothing gonna help you, because it's not getting any better. The food isn't getting better. Society isn't getting any better. They're not getting any healthier. And since we're not getting any better, we're not changing our habits, we're not getting any healthier. Like, you literally look at the statistics and the numbers, because I haven't pulled up on my laptop, and it's like, it's wild. It's wild. Chronic illness has gone up, but I think 10% since 2019. And this is the numbers that they recorded since 2023 when they ended the pandemic. Chronic illness has gone up, as well as mental illness. And yes, I understand that COVID is in that category of chronic illness, but you have to realize the fact that it's not isolated, that it has gone up 10% at all. It's deeper, because when you look at it, we have over 1.6 billion people on this earth suffering from heart disease. That's not unrelated, or high blood pressure, excuse me, not heart disease, high blood pressure. That's not unrelated. It's not unrelated at all. All of these things are connected, and it's time for us to start making the connections. And if you are one of those people that you want to make the connections, maybe you don't have enough time to do research, and maybe you're just like, I just need a little information here and there, follow me. If you're not following me already, you need to follow me, because I give you all the information that I get. As soon as I get it, I try to get it out there, because it's really ridiculous how we're programmed all of this crap all the time to be fear-mongered and to be scared and to not support ourselves. But we're not taught how bad the food industry is. We're not taught how to use food as medicine. We're not taught that our body is a healing vessel, and the Most High has made us for healing. And so we deserve to be able to be healing, and we deserve to be able to get all the nutrition that we need without literally poisoning ourselves with meat and dairy, because that's what we're doing. Chicken feeds type 2 diabetes. It feeds cancer. And the same thing with red meat. It's literally been linked to being a carcinogen. Not just your processed and packaged meat, because that's also been linked to being a carcinogen, but red meat by itself. Seafood is full of microplastics, and they're finding sea life with cancer. So if you're eating seafood, it also is giving you cancer. There's no question about it. If you're eating an animal that already has cancer in it, and the same thing with them sitting there and telling you that these packaging plants, these meat packagers, they cut the cancer off and then sell you the meat. They cut the cancer off. Let me say that one more time. And then they sell you the meat to go consume and eat. It's not safe. It's not safe. And we have to stop believing these liars. They're liars, because all of this is literally just them misconstruing and deceiving you. That's all it is. And so I'm tired of seeing it, and so I'm ready to be here as a person that can support anybody that is ready to change and that is seeing through the lies too, and they know that it's time for them to change, and it's time for them to, they deserve better. That's just what it is. You deserve better. And I knew that I deserved better, and so I went and I strived for better, and I achieved that. I literally have transformed my entire life just by going plant-based, and it was truly amazing. I'm not suffering. I'm not lacking in food. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I can't eat that. Like, oh, I have nothing to eat. Like, yes, I can't eat that, but guess what? I have my good old plate over here. Shows people my plate, and they're like, oh my goodness, that looks good. Yeah, I literally will cook something and have my mom, my dad, or whoever else is around me try it, and they'll be like, "What did you make? What is that?" Like, it's good. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's good. I'm not gonna sit here and live a lifestyle and promote a lifestyle that I don't enjoy. I'm not gonna live a lifestyle and promote a lifestyle that keeps me sitting here like, oh, I'm so hungry. I hate this. That's what diet culture does to you, though. You believe wholeheartedly a diet culture. That's what it does to you, though. You hate the process. You're hungry all the time. You're not enjoying it. You can't wait until it ends. But I'm plant-based, and I've been almost 4 years, and now I don't want this to end. I don't want to go back to the lifestyle that I was living, because I know as soon as I go back, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be ill like I was. I'm going to be leading myself to having diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease, cancer eventually, because that's where everybody is leading themselves with these crappy habits that we have because we believe the programming that society puts us in, and we don't deserve that. We deserve better. And so if we want better for ourselves, it's time for us to go educate ourselves and go get it. And if you want that for yourself, and if you don't have the time, or you want the strategies and you want the ease of stepping into the lifestyle of you being plant-based, you need to come work with me. And I do have an amazing cookbook that is coming out very, very soon. My cookbook is, the pre-sale is up. If you want to go ahead and grab it before the price goes up, because I have for a pre-sale price for the people that were asking already for a cookbook, and that are ready to go get it. I do have a pre-sale price that's up. It will be going up, I think, at least $5. So I would get it now while it's at the pre-sale price. And all my links are in my social media bios, my Facebook, my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube. All of my social media links are all my links are in my social medias. I said that backwards. My TikTok one is not clickable, but if you have any issues, DM me with getting that pulled up. But I have nothing else for you guys for today, so I will be taking questions for the next couple of minutes. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. I will answer them to the best of my ability. And if you have anything that like you don't want to ask here on live, and you're like, I would prefer to be more, you know, one-on-one exclusive, you can DM me always. I will answer your questions if you have any that come up. And if I get off of live and you have any that just spark in your brain, please don't hesitate. DM me. I got you. But if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Drop them down before I get off. Oh, goodness. Today was a day. It was raining. I mean, like a good day, not a bad day. I said that like it was a bad day. It's been a good day, but it was sunny. It was clear, like it is now outside, and then boom, it just started raining. So I didn't appreciate that at all. I was trying to enjoy the weather. I mean, I did go out and I ran and walked my dog for a little minute, because she acted like it was so hot outside that she couldn't even do it. We got like down to the end of the street, and we usually go like all the way down to the end of the street and then back up, and then we come back down. But no, we had to go all the way down to the end of the street and then come back to the house. And I just finished out with jump ropes and weight training and stuff. So obviously she was tired today. I feel like she was just being a little lazy, because I was like, girl, because as soon as I put her down, she wanted to. When I was running, because I started out walking every single time. I walk first, and then I work my way up to like, okay, now I'm ready to run. And so we were walking and she didn't want to do it. But when I started running, now she's excited and she's ready to run. So that's my dog for you. Nobody has any questions? Okay. Well, I'm not seeing any questions in the comments, so I guess I'm going to hop off of here. I will be back on Friday for sure. If not, I might be back a little earlier, but Fridays is usually the day that I try to aim for. And then every day else is, you know, iffy. We'll see. But I try to go live at least 2 to 3 times a week. And if you want to know when I go live and you don't have your TikTok notifications on, then you can sign up for my email list, and you'll get an email as soon as I'm ready to go live. You'll know. But I hope that everybody has an amazing rest of your day, and I hope that you just enjoy the weather if you're not dealing with rain and all that crap. And if you are, enjoy the rain. Sometimes it's nice to enjoy the rain. But I hope everybody has a blessed rest of their day.